Welcome, everybody. My name is Ryan Kaser. I'm the program manager for community risk reduction for the fire service. Everybody calls me Skinny. And what this is the instructor update for the Public Fire and Life Safety Educator 1. And this is the release to the field right now. And what this is going to give the opportunity for a lot more departments to be able to teach this class in-house as like a tier 1 type class. So that's going to be great for the fire service as well. Some of the things we're going to cover as far as update wise, we're going to look at it's being released to the field. One of the goals of this is to make sure that we have the consistent and appropriate message going out to the students. So therefore, if you're going to be talking about and giving examples of meeting places and different things like that, make sure you do your research through either NFPA, United States Fire Administration, Vision 2020, having that right, consistent message. That's one of the big keys, because we're going to be teaching our own firefighters how to talk to the public. And when the public looks at us, they're going to expect us to be professional and be the experts. So we just can't make things up as we go, in a sense. So we've got to be very technically accurate. One wrong thing, telling the students, it can actually multiply and multiply as it goes down the road. As they become instructors and they start teaching this class, and we don't have that consistent message. So please do your research on consistent messages and what the right messages are out there. If you need any help with that, all you got to do is give me a link, or give me a call, give me a text, whatever. I'll get you forward you my contact information, and I will get you in the right direction to set you up with those places to get that consistent message as well. The difference between we used to have this program as a level 1 and level 2 combined. It's gone to a level 1 only, and then there's also a level 2 as well. But the level 1 is the one being released to the field. If you've had the combination class in the years past, and it's probably been well over 10 years since we've had that, you're going to see a big change if you're going to be looking at teaching this class. So it's gone to this is a 3-day class if you go Monday through Friday or Monday through Wednesday, or basically a 24-hour class if you break it up onto like a volunteer schedule as well. A 3-day class projects, you'll do 6 chapters, and then you'll do 11 projects, and that includes a presentation at the end of it. As the instructor, you're going to be the one who's going to be pushing the projects out through project submissions. All of these projects are put on the online learning platform that the Fire College has, the OLC learning platform. So if you're not familiar with that, please, we got to work on that before you start teaching this, because everything is computer project based version. This is the online template for it. Everything you need, we'll have this in here. You will have your schedule, you'll have your syllabus, any type of checklist. Also, all of your PowerPoints goes with instructor resource, as well as the outlines. All of this stuff where it says resource material, video links, websites, and things like that for level 1. None of this is testable material, but it is supplemental material to help your students understand. There are the 6 chapters. Each chapter has discussion questions. Each chapter has links to go with it, so where you can find videos to help you understand, or even help the student understand if they don't know the material, or it's not covered, or you're just not sure about it. It's there for you. You don't have to utilize it if you don't need to, but it's there for you. Here's the projects part of it. We do have the 11 projects. Projects 1 you're looking at dealing with activity forms, filling out paperwork like you're supposed to. If you do a presentation, fill out your paperwork and make sure it gets turned in properly. Project 2, you're going to be taking that information and compiling it into an annual report. Project 3, you're going to be dealing with making a schedule. And it can be any of your projects need to be turned in either Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office, something of that nature, or even a PDF file. When we get into dealing with different operating softwares, the grading evaluators may not be able to open it up, and it causes slowdown and problems, and so we don't really know what your submission might be. So in your submissions, when you go to a submission, the first thing that you need to show the students how to do a submission if they don't know. Some of the people have I've dealt with this online platform before. If you don't know how to utilize this, go to your submit button and click on it, and it's going to take you to a place as far as you can either upload. You won't see the first part as far as a student wise, but you'll see this as far as your instructor wise. And we'll get back to that in just a minute. They'll scroll down a little bit. Well, there's not a student in there. It has a place for it to where you submit your projects, and it'll go to upload, drag and drop, and put it in your file. And then you save the changes, and that's what we call is in a draft mode right there. If you keep it in a draft as an instructor, you're able to come back and view the submissions in there. So that way you're responsible as an instructor to look and see that student 1 has been uploaded project 1 in the proper place, and project 1 is not blank. It's got the material there that they're supposed to be covered, they're supposed to be doing. Project 3 is in project 3. They've got their name on everything. So that's kind of one of the roles you are. If they're in a draft, they're able to take the project in and out of it to where they can still do some editing. If they come in and do their final submission before you've checked it, and they see that something is wrong, like their project 2 is blank, then you have to email, text me, or text the program manager so I can get it opened back up and revert it back to a draft. So it may be a delayed thing. So that's why as an instructor, you want to have those be able to look and check and make sure that you can say, hey, your project 2 is blank. Take it back out. Well, I know I did it. That's fine. Go back in there, let them edit the submission, go back in there and resubmit it. Okay, yes, you're good to go to do your final submission. Excuse me. If you don't know how to utilize the online learning platform, please give me a call and I can go explain it to you. You'll have access to all of this material probably about right around 2 weeks prior to your class. If it's going to be your first time teaching it in a long time, or you're not familiar with the information, get a hold of me, and that way I can give you access to the material. We can have your class built a little bit prior to, and maybe have about 3 weeks worth of looking at the material, looking at doing your preparations for your class. One of the things that has changed, especially since we've done level 1 and 2 together, and even when we've done just level 1 together, we've gone to individual projects. They are not group projects. We're trying to certify that you are competent in performing your job functions in this role as a life safety educator 1. And it's going to across the board. A lot of your projects are going to across the board as far as a level individual projects, not only in this version, instructor version, fire officer versions. As much as it can be, they're going to those individual projects. One of the big things about that is that we are trying to make sure that the students do the work. It's not that hard of a class. It's not that difficult of projects. The biggest thing is we've had in the past that students have pretty much, some of the students have turned in kind of the same work. They just changed the names and things like that. Changed a little bit. That doesn't help with anything as far as certifying them if they're competent or not. So we do have a fraud, academic fraud and a dishonesty policy, and most of our projects, or if not all of our projects now, are going through what we call a plagiarism checker. And this is to see we're looking at our old projects, and as we go down the road, it just keeps piling up the projects, and it gives a database to come check to see if what type of percentage it was turned in that was used in somebody else's. So we really look at those numbers, and I'll get Reed to talk to you more about that in just a minute. Your role as the instructor is to teach the material, and then you're there to facilitate the projects. We do get complaints upon how many projects we have, but this is not driven by me. It's not driven by any of the other program managers. This is strictly driven by the NFPA standards, professional qualification standards, and ours is NFPA 1035. They dictate how many skills that you have to do to be considered competent. And right now we combine a bunch of different skills to make it to where you have 11 projects to do. Another thing, you're also there, as we told you before, you're there to make sure that the student number one has their projects in the assigned places. Once they are, and you get through all of the 11 projects, then they can do their final submissions. If you're going to be doing this schedule on a volunteer basis, and it's going to take a little bit more time, like on nights or weekends or things like that, make sure that the students are not getting behind. I have taught this class on a volunteer type schedule on Zoom during COVID, and one of the biggest things is people were trying to play at the very end, and it was not very successful. So make sure that you give deadlines for your projects. If you're doing the Monday or a 3-day class, whatever you assign, and there's a schedule on there, if you assign those projects that afternoon, then you do your turn, have work turned in by 8 o'clock in the morning. So that way you can move on to the next chapters and the next projects. The schedule works really well, as far as if you'll follow it pretty much, it works really good as far as timeline. So my role as a program manager is you don't get to grade projects anymore. We don't have the person that's teaching the class being able to grade projects. And with that, I will be assigning different proctors or different evaluators to grade the projects. So if there's an issue or anything that comes up, they're the ones who's going to be handling the scores and things like that. And as we get going, we're going to still keep fine-tuning how we do grade projects and things of that nature. The projects are not hard. So the main thing is just have them do their work, turn their work in. It's not any of our jobs to try to fail anybody. We're not looking to fail anybody. We want everybody to be successful, but we want to be able to say that you are competent to being able to do the job. Once the class is being closed, after your once the class is being closed, your last day of the class, you're done your projects, you get to your test, whether it's your 3-day class or your volunteer modified schedule. Once you get to that last hour or so, the last day of class, the class is going to get clocked out. So make sure that those projects are going, people are current on the projects. You may have to kind of help push a little bit as far as if they get behind, but that's your responsibility as a instructor My responsibility is kind of keep glancing in there every once in a while, see how things are going, and check on things. If there's any issues that come up, I'll be part of that. The program managers will be a part of that, as far as the grading, the class, and the curriculum. So please, keep us informed on that. This is my contact information. Ryan Skinny Kaser, rkaser at alabamafirecollege.org. My cell phone number. Do not hesitate to call me, text me, email me, whatever you need to do to get a hold of me. Even if you got a question, a simple question, I'm here, I'm open, I'm ready for you. So please don't think that, oh, well, I don't want to bother him. Well, this is what I'm here for. I want you to be successful as an instructor, and for you to be successful, I've got to make sure that you have the appropriate information that you need. So that's my contact information. Like I said, if you got any question, any comments, please don't hesitate to get a hold of me. I'm gonna let Reed talk a little bit about a couple of other things, especially dealing with the life safety educator programs that we have.
Yeah, just to follow up on Skinny's comments, one of the things that we're noticing with a lot of our project-driven classes is, we understand that the mantra of the fire service for years used to be still the best and write the rest. And with our projects, that's not something that is sustainable. Remember, this is a testing item. This is a test, even though it's something that you do at your own pace, that you're doing at home, or you're doing, during the course, however it's set up by the instructor. And Skinny mentioned looking at old projects and looking at source material on the internet. The system we run your projects through examines every project that's ever been turned in here and the information that's readily available on the internet. So, when in doubt, cite, when in doubt, quote. But it's one of those situations where if you receive contact from here, they're saying, hey, we need to talk to you about a project. It's best to be honest with everyone here, encourage your students to do that, because the question's already been answered. They're just talking to the student at that point. And if the student's upfront and honest and cooperative with fire college administration, chances are they're going to get a chance to redo the project and submit their own work. And we've seen cases in the past where somebody has accidentally, while sharing a thumb drive, grabbed the wrong project. Even the initials in the title of the project were incorrect, and they had the other project on the same thumb drive. So there are some possibilities where accidents do happen. So bear that in mind. And one other thing that we often have projects throughout, offerings throughout the year for programs that we have here on campus, such as the Fire Safety Summit, and things that are aligned toward community risk reduction and making sure that we're partners in that effort. Of course, the Alabama Community Risk Association for Community Risk Reduction is something that's here on the website for the Fire College, and there are several things that go along with that, including some helpful links. There's a smoke alarm distribution program through the college, and those of you that are instructing, I'm sure you're aware of that, but don't fail to mention that to students. Our goal and aim here with our fire prevention efforts is to give enough free material and access to grant material and things of that nature so that a department that doesn't have a community risk reduction education budget can still have a program and can still function out there and offer that service to their people. So, and with that said, one of the things that we're beginning to really see a lot of credit given for, and I think you're probably going to see some pickup in this, is ISO Versic is giving credit for programs and certified individuals at the Public Fire Life Safety Educator Level 1. The biggest thing you can do for your department as far as improving your fire department score after you have done what you can on equipment and done what you can on basic training is to send your personnel several of your personnel or one of your personnel, it doesn't say how many, through Public Fire Life Safety Educator, and remind students that, they need to make sure they turn that certificate in to the chief of their volunteer organization, their paid department, wherever they are. If they're on multiple departments, turn it in multiple places, because this is a huge factor in the credit given for fire departments. If they have a certified educator and they have a program, it's worth as much as a pumper, basically, which is really hard for those of us that have been doing this for, more than 20 years. Remember the old ISO. The old ISO was based on brick and mortar. So just bear that in mind, emphasize that to students, that this is critical, this is important. Not only are they providing a critical service to their the population they protect, but there's also that backside benefit that comes from having gone through this course and having this in practice. So again, we're your partners. This is how we attempt to be the answer to the needs of the needs of the fire service in the state of Alabama. And if there's ever anything we can do, call Skinny. I gave you his number. I think you're muted, Skinny. It would not be a Zoom session without a one mute.
I know it. So, but yes, thank you. Yeah, please do call me. I've worked with some departments across the state, as far as at least giving them some good places to go find their materials and things like that. And I'd be willing to help anybody, especially getting started and things like that. But yeah, do call me, do text me. I'm here at your leisure. I'm here at your beck and call. So this is a website, Acre website. This is our coalition. Right here where it says the CRR guide, this is a wonderful, wonderful tool for you as an instructor as well as your students. This is a great thing. This is a manual that we put together as the coalition. It has 48 different monthly topics on there. Plus it has smoke alarm blitz, how to do one of those each year or each month, has its own social media to go along with it. Every bit of it. It's a resource that we built for the state, and it is there for you. It also has guidelines. It has that consistent message. It has it even has those academic standards when you're teaching this stuff in the school. So utilize this. If you've not looked at it, it's go for it, go find it. It's our Turn Your Attention to Fire Prevention Resources, or the Acre Acre website, Alabama Coalition for Community Risk Reduction Educators, Acre for short. And speaking of Acre, I got to throw that shameless plug in there. Acre's a organization that helps with community risk reduction plans and things from all over the state, from one end of the state to the other end of the state. Dues for it is only $25 per a year. And this what brings in our Life Safety Summit. This what helps fund it. And we also bring this past year, this summer, we were able to bring in Rick Fryer, the fire science guy from Spokane Valley, Washington. And he was coming in talked about youth fire setting for a whole day, and talked about how it went. And it was a wonderful, wonderful class. And it didn't cost us anything, or it didn't cost anybody anything. There was even free lunch for both days, the Thursday and the Friday of our Life Safety Summit. So get involved with your community risk reduction, especially make sure that you're telling your students about how much community risk reduction is out there. You're going to keep seeing a big, big cycle of community risk reduction throughout the fire service. It's going to be one of the founding, the future parts of the founding parts of the fire department nowadays. So thank you very much. Like I said, if you have any questions, you have any comments, please give us a call. We'll be glad to help you out in any way. Thank you.